In researching materials obtained from the Big Bend Historical Society Museum on the murders of David Spiegel, Judge J.A. Lewis and his wife, and Lily Lesnett, I came across a fourth obscure murder that happened in the area of Wilbur, Washington. It was known to locals as the Mystery of the Lost Dane. The victim in this crime was a gentleman by the name of William Jensen. No relation. From here on out, we will refer to him as just Jensen. He was noticed missing from what I have gathered mid-year of 1914, but perhaps earlier. In news clips from the Wilbur Register, they report of Jensen's body being found on July 31st of 1914. Jensen's body was found in a shallow well described to be about 9 miles southeast of Wilbur near Wilson Creek. I presume this is a creek named Wilson Creek and not the town of Wilson Creek, which is situated about 30 miles to the southwest. To make matters more confusing, the town of Wilson Creek has a creek running through it called Crab Creek. But I digress. As the story goes, Jensen, who worked as a ranch hand for a Mayberry, I don't know if that is a man or a woman, doesn't say, and it's not the town of Mayberry, so Andy Griffith didn't participate in the investigation of this murder. Jensen had just received a check for a year's pay. I don't know if once a year paychecks were common back then, but that's what the newspaper tells us. Jensen went to Wilbur to cash the check, and it was presumed cashed by 3 men by the names of Earl Short, Alvin Watson, and a third that is reported with just the name Marquette. Whether the intent was to just rob Jensen of his money or to murder him and take his money, there is no mention. Jensen's body was discovered by a farmhand who noticed the fresh mound of dirt in a field next to the well and investigated. When Jensen's body was removed from the well, they discovered he died from a gunshot wound to the neck. Friends of Jensen identified him by his unusual height and, as the news article reads, his thumb. I wish they elaborated on that. More questions than answers here. Local authorities then discovered that Jensen had not yet cashed his paycheck, so it was all for nothing. Good job, local thugs. There is mention of some neighbors to the property where the body was found witnessed something but didn't connect it to being a crime at the time, but when the body was found remembered. That's my assumption. The article reads that the body was first buried in a manure pile but then relocated to the shallow well. I may be wrong here, but I think this was probably Short's, Watson's, and Marquette's first rodeo. All the article says about the trial is that Earl Short, Alvin Watson, and Marquette were implicated in the murder, and goes on to say that Earl Short's mother lost her farm in the struggle to save her son from prison. So it's my guess that is where he went. Prison. Well, that's all I was able to find on this event. I wish I could tell you more about the characters, their ages, and background. Was William Jensen from Denmark? And if so, when did he get here? What's his history? What is Earl Short's relation to his co-murderers? Was Earl Short a minor still living with his mom? How terrible this ordeal must have been for her. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video. I will be making much more content in this format in the future. Cheers!